talk about how things go today at practice.
I was pretty good. It was great to have that indoor. So that obviously being able to practice where normally you only got a little bit of it in because of the lightning and thunder. And, you always want to be safe, but being able to go inside and be able to, go through your practice was good. And the guys flew around. They're getting better at not letting things like that distract them, because we're indoors or outdoors, shouldn't matter, But for those guys who are going and have the practice that they did, I was pleasantly pleased so far. But again, got to watch the tape. But the enthusiasm is there. Guys are trying to fly around and make some plays. I think different from other teams, guys are more competitive about jobs because there's more jobs open. Where guys would come in and say, "Oh, we know he's going to be at that position. I got no chance." Well, that's not the case. In a lot of positions on this football team, jobs are wide open for young guys to come in and help. Some old guys to even move to different positions and help. So it's been really good.
Hey, how do you see them picking things up? You see a lot of progress in that area?
Yeah, I tell you, you can tell the leadership was good this summer because there's a lot of carryover from what they did this summer with the captain practices. So that's been really good. And and for us on offense, how important it is alignment and assignment. Guys getting lined up and guys getting their assignments right is huge, huge. And I know it's that way for defense, but really for us because of spacing with this offense. With the NFL West Coast offense, the spacing is so important. One guy screwing up a window or one guy closing an alley down that a running back has to run through can throw the whole play off. And so them getting where they're supposed to be and doing it in a timely fashion where we, never seen the sense of urgency as far as the details, which has been really good. Really good for me as a coach and really good for our football team. So.
How big of a deal is the scrimmage tomorrow going to be for the wide receivers to sort of set a pecking order for?
It's going to be really big because, anytime we go in that stadium, we want to send a message, That's for, I think in the last 2 years we're 14-1, and we need to make sure that they understand that and be on top of that, defending the home field. We got some tough games on the road, I get that, but we also got to make sure we take care of home, and they take a lot of pride in that. You're never going to be able to simulate a game, but the importance of walking between them lines at that stadium, I promise you, before they get off that field, they'll understand it. They'll know by the intensity and by the way that we approach it. And again, it gives you a chance as a coach to where tomorrow I'll be backed off and seeing what they know. And I learned as a young coach a long time ago from Coach Taff. I was coaching defensive backs, and they couldn't get the guy to line up where I wanted him to. So with a staff meeting, I said, "Hey, Coach, I've told that kid 100 times to get that right." And he looked right at me and said, "What's so special about 100? Tell him 150. Tell him 1,000, because coaches come and go. He's going to be here for 4 years." And it didn't take me long to figure that out. And it's the same thing with these guys. It's really important that these guys understand that they can't count the reps. They have to make the reps count. If I get 5 reps as opposed to another guy getting 10, my 5 are way more important now because those are the only 5 I get to be evaluated on. And it's amazing to see these guys fight for, and kind of the old guys don't want to let the young guys in there because they think they're going to show them up, and they're trying to steal each other's reps. And you have a set rep that you want going into it, and that's one of the biggest things I'm doing in practice is making sure, hey, it's not your turn, clown, it's his turn. Let him get his rep because they want their jobs, and these young guys want them bad too. And so it's been great competition. So both sides of the ball.
Did you talk about Ricardo and Melvin Ray?
Yeah, both of them have done well. They're both big guys. They're lost right now with knowing all the intricacies of the offense, but size and speed and what you'd like for a wideout to have, they seem to possess that. What we got to get them better at is pad leverage, speed of the game. Melvin's kind of like what D'Lo was. He hadn't played in a long time. And then Ricardo, obviously, coming from high school to college, that transition's a lot tougher just because of the speed of the game. But it's a reason why Ricardo was recruited. I mean, he has the ability for now being able to put it all together and understand where he belongs in the offense is going to be huge. But I like what I've seen so far. We only, obviously been in full pads just today, but what we've seen so far, he's showing some flashes, and so has Melvin. But where can they help us on special teams? If the receiver's going to play, he's got to play at least 2 special teams. That's what they have to figure out there more. And then, obviously, where he fits into the offense.
You said a guy like Melvin that's been a professional athlete for 3 years. Is there a different maturity level about a guy like that?
Night and day. I mean, Ricardo ain't correcting anybody. he's trying to just stay above water. Melvin at least talk to guys and say different things, and also just the maturity of being able to take a butt chewing. I mean, he's obviously had some before, and he's able to take that. You know, he's able to understand that and not take it personal. Where with the freshmen, sometimes they think that that's an attack on them. You know, it's an attack on the way you did the drill or the way you ran the route. It's not an attack on you as a person or football player. You got to understand the difference of the two, and so educating them on those things helps them make that transition. You know, but we got a lot of deals. Tomorrow it'll be the first time we have the referees. So now on the ball, off the ball, you know, penalties that are pre-snap kill you. And so for us, we have to make sure that with all the different formations that we have, and you're going to see, we have a bunch, we have a lot. That it's 3 times the learning that they've had before, just on formations alone. So not covering somebody up, not having enough on, enough off, those are going to be big enough hurdles for the freshmen and even some of the upperclassmen because they hadn't had to do that a bunch.
Who is the older guys? Who is
You're talking about
to
Emory Blake, Trevante Stallworth. D'Angelo's been really great with helping those guys as well. So those 3 have really done a good job. And then Jalen Denson. I've been really impressed with how he goes out, and he's not allowed, but he's a pull a guy to the side and say, hey, you need to do it this way. But, you know, Trevante Stallworth and Emory Blake probably are the 2 leaders, if I had to say 2 in that room. But it's been really good to see that it's been a collective group. You know, Emory's not a real boisterous guy either, but he's really good at talking to him and keeping him after practice, walking through routes and, you know, educating him on stuff that he's seen, understanding coverages and things like that.
Last year, Trevante got off to a good start and just sort of was like disappeared later in the season.
Yeah.
Was there any reason for that?
Injuries. He and D-Law have been the most injury-prone 2 clowns I've ever been around. I got to get them straight. You can't make the club in the tub, and whether it's for the size or whatever it may be, they got to stay healthy. But the good thing is we got some depth now, and you know it's a different type of offense. It's a different system. You know, everybody has a chance. Everybody has a chance, and it's just a different mindset and thinking for a player to practice and knowing that he has a chance to play, rather than waiting for somebody to get hurt before you have a chance to play. Everybody has a job to do and a role that they can play. I love it that the 2 offenses that we had both give you a chance to get matchups. So a player, just because he plays X, don't mean he can't come in here and play the Z when it requires you to run that route. You know, it's still learning concepts. There's just a lot more of them, and there's a lot more routes, bless you, dictated off coverages, where before we were locked in. Now it's changing conversions, things like that, a lot similar to the NFL.
How many guys do you anticipate playing on September 1st?
To be honest, as many as they'll allow me to, as far as trusting. And I had a freshman ask me that question. I told him, as many as I can trust. I really don't have a set number. Say we're gonna carry 8. We're gonna carry, because I told you they have to play 2 special teams. Unless you're a senior, you definitely have to be on 2 special teams. And so, where they help us in special teams may say whether they get on the bus or not. And so, it won't just be based off what they do in that wide receiver room. You know, we always talk about offense, defense, and then the we-fence, which is special teams where we all come together. So that's really, really important to me. I harp on that. I tell guys, you remember how Darwin and Emory and those guys all made plays on special teams? I want the same thing out of these guys because that's going to help them down the road.
Emory Blake's kind of a known commodity. You know what to expect out of him. Have you seen anybody kind of step up opposite side of the field and kind of grab that spot yet?
You know, and really we haven't had enough time to be able to say, yeah, here's our next go-to guy. But I tell you, Quan Bray has made some plays. Trevon Reed, Sammy Coates went up over the top and made a play on some guys. So, and that's what I mean by the depth. And here's my deal. They need to understand that I have to trust them. I have to trust because they say, well, Emory Blake's a known commodity. That's because I trust that he's going to do things right and he's going to make a play when he gets a chance. But when there's another guy that showed me in practice that he can do those same things or similar, and it's not a big drop-off when Emory comes out and he comes in, then I'll have another guy to play. And now Emory's going to be fresher in the 4th quarter because now he didn't play 90 snaps. He only played 60. Does that make sense?
So a lot of people look at Auburn receivers, they really need that secondary complementary guy.
Absolutely.
But you think it's going to be more one guy?
Yes. Until we find guys that can give us the competition or competitive edge, where we know that matchup is going to win, and they got to prove that in practice. There's some guys with that ability, but one that won't do it is no better than one that can't do it. And so my job is to get more of them doing it. And I think just with what we've seen, and we'll know a lot more after this scrimmage, I think we have some guys in there that can do those things. So I'm really excited about it. I'll tell you, another guy that's moved in my room is Morgan, Anthony Morgan, and guys, he can fly. He can fly. But that bubble screen's a whole lot different when you got speed on it. And he's a guy that I look to run some of those kind of things with that can help us win.
How much has Trevon matured the last couple of years?
A bunch. Just in the weight room alone. Coach Yox, I tell him every day he's the MVP because people, saying how well Coach, he's started in the weight room. He's a different kind of kid. He came here like, 160, maybe 160 with rocks in his pocket, and now he's almost up to 190 pounds. And that's made a big difference in his blocking, in his confidence, in his health, staying healthy. I mean, he was so skinny you could have slid him under the door without opening it. Now you better open the door because he can run through it because he's bigger and stronger, and his confidence is there, even on his blocking. So that's what helps kids. That weight room. I mean, thank God for Coach Yox. I mean, I'm just telling you, he is a difference maker, the glue to this football team.
What sticks out about Jalen Denson? I mean, to you, what's the best thing about him?
I kind of say he's a quiet guy, but he plays big. He plays big. He's physical on his blocks, and he knows how to high point the football. He didn't play a lot of receiver because he played tight end for Hoover, and they had him out some. But what he does now, and now understanding how to sit it in the window, understanding how to attack a coverage, a leverage of a corner, he's starting to put all those things together. Because he comes from a great family and he's a really smart kid. Now putting it together and having the confidence. But you guys know there's no substitute for experience. You can tell the guys that have played in games as opposed to the guys that haven't when you go through practice and you go through scrimmages and drills that are set up fast-paced tempo against our DBs.
You've been around Scott for spring in this now. Just kind of your impressions of him.
He's a really intelligent guy. He really pays a lot of attention to the details. And I love the way that he coaches the whole offense into understanding why we run a play, why we're doing something, why we're attacking this, and then a situational guy. 2-minute red zone coming out. I mean, we even go over taking a knee. I mean, he's done a great job of educating them on. Our kids right now know every opportunity there is to stop the clock in a 2-minute drill. Whether it's an injury, whether it's a timeout, whether it's a play being reviewed, whether it's somebody jumping off sides on offense, somebody jumping off sides on defense, and explaining the difference between the two, when that clock's going to start and when it's not, when that referee's going to set the ball, where he's going to set it on the hash. I mean, just educating our guys to the minute detail. And I tell you, he and Van Gorder both, I've been really impressed with the attention to detail that they play for our players to be educated and understand the game. And I think all that does is make us a better football team.
How many plays tomorrow? You guys going to run the scrimmage? You got to set them out?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Be like 100 plays tomorrow?
Oh, the guy that sits at the front of that table. I mean, if you ask me, I'd say let's do 200, but I don't know if he's going to go for that. And I think he's going to get a feel for, where we are with, guys being tired or, injuries. I mean, different things could dictate that, but he and the coordinators meet every day, and they go over those deals, and they give us the scenario and the situation that we're going to do, whether it's 3rd and long, 3rd and short. We're going to practice coming out. We're going to practice whatever it may be. They'll set those situations up and then let us educate the players going into it that, it's 3rd and 5, it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 1, so it'll be some of that, I believe. I don't know if it's going to be just put the ball down and let's play this many snaps. It'll be things that our guys can learn from in that situation, whether it's, overtime with a short yardage or whether it's, last minute of a half, whatever it may be.
You may not know the answer to this. Do you know if John Sullivan did he do everything contact-wise today?
I don't know. And, and I love those guys up front, but I really don't. I'm on that perimeter so much. I wish I could tell you, but I really don't know. I think I saw him out there, though. I'm not, but they all big fellas with 70 jerseys. I don't get into that as much. Anybody else? Well, appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a good day.